Hey guys, happy Sunday. It's Lexi. I hope we're all having a wonderful day so far. I am sharing the empties from last week's melting basket challenge, which was scoops and clams. So let me just say a couple things first. If I seem like a little bit groggy today, I am. I'm filming this before I've even had my coffee, so I'm just a tiny bit tired. Also, Tom and I had our first official wedding of 2022, which is crazy, yesterday. So I'm feeling a little bit of the, what like photographers say, the wedding hangover, where obviously I didn't drink anything while I was working, but I feel super, super tired and groggy today. So if I'm like a tiny bit off my game, I do apologize. So let me dive into this. And I think what I'm gonna do is start with scoops first. So as you guys know, I have really decided to dedicate this past week to mostly using up my clams, and specifically my clams that are Scentsy, because there are a lot of things that are going away from the catalog that are being discontinued. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to keep in my melting or my Scentsy club this past week. And I will say, with a combined around 40 clams and scoops combined kind of number that I marked up to this week, I think I figured out what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. So clams or scoops first. These are all from L3 Waxy Wonders, and this first one that I melted is apple butterscotch cake. So I was honestly pleasantly surprised with this, and I would say this was my favorite one out of all of the scoops that I tried this week. So it's pretty simple. It's literally just like a very sweet, tart, juicy type of apple scent with a rich butterscotch, like cakey note. It really is good. I only used a little bit of this, so you really can't tell, but just a tiny bit, and then I kind of leveled it out, and it was really, really nice. This was honestly the best performing scoop that I had. It was a really good, strong throw in my house. It was probably like 8 or 9 out of 10 for performance, and I did like this. I'm happy that I have more. I don't know if I would personally go forward and purchase another scoop of this, but if this is offered in a like a harder wax form, I did notice this week that I don't think I'm a huge fan of scoops, especially when I was kind of like trying to use them on like for a purpose, trying to like make myself use them. I was really not having a great time and kind of frustrated with scoopable wax. So moving forward, if this is offered, once I run out, if it's offered in a harder form, I probably would pick it up, and I definitely think it's a good one. This one here, I currently have going in my house right now. So once this is all warmed up, I'm gonna move on to the risky melting basket stuff, but this is still kind of going and I can still smell it a little bit. It is L3 Waxy Wonders Cake Batter Waffle Cone Mallow Fluff and Nilla Wafers. So this is just a jumble of like bakery, sweetness, gooey treat kind of scents, and it's really nice. It's definitely on the lighter side. I would say that this is probably like a 6 out of 10 for performance, and it's honestly nothing really too special for me or like making me feel like I need to have more, but once this is gone, I will be happy that I have at least tried it and used it. And then I have a cinnamon sugar scent, and this is just like the most basic bakery cinnamon sugar. It literally smells like, it's not like a red hot cinnamon, it's a bakery cinnamon mixed with that sweet sugar, like something you would imagine on top of like a donut, or like, you know, covered around a donut, without the bakery scent. So very simple, very plain, but this is a really good scent that I did end up blending with the apple butterscotch cake, and this was a really nice combo. So this one on its own was definitely a little light, but when I mixed it with the other one, it kind of helped amp up the fall type bakery scent. So I did like this one. But once it's gone, I'll be fine with that. And then finally, this one I would say would probably be like the biggest letdown from this scoopable endeavor here. And this is Brown Sugar Fig Adipose Nilla Wafers. And Adipose is just L3 Waxy Wonders like custom vanilla blend. This really wasn't anything to write home about. It was fine. I do like it, but the Brown Sugar Fig, it is a body, I think it's a body care scent from Bath & Body Works. And this to me just smelled like an overly sweet body care scent, and even then it was definitely really, really mild and light, so it was probably like a 4.34 performance. So it definitely wouldn't be anything I would want to pick up again, but I'm happy to have at least tried it because this is something that I have been putting off melting for such a long time. And then we will move on to my Walmart wax, because I have used up a ton this week. So I did end up finishing a few clamshells from Walmart, which I'm feeling really, really good about, because these are some of the things that I keep in my like collection, just kind of at the bottom of all of my totes. If you guys have watched my wax collection video, I'll leave it in the description if you haven't. It kind of just shows everything, which that was filmed maybe like 6 months ago. So I have definitely collected a lot more wax, but I have melted about the same amount. So I'm around the same amount of wax, just it's different stuff that you'll see. But you guys will probably notice I have a ton of Walmart wax and retail wax I just don't reach for. So this was a really good week to honestly get me to use up a few things. So I did finish up just 4 clamshells from the Walmart wax, but I'm happy to have at least finished any. This one here is Amaretto and Blood Orange, and this is a Mainstays, like one of the smaller 98-cent kind of packs. I melted this in my bathroom and my guest room, and I split 3 cubes in my bathroom warmer and 3 cubes in my guest room warmer. And the performance was good. There's no complaints about that. But the actual scent itself, I just didn't love. I definitely liked it on cold a lot more than I did once it was warmed up. And I feel like for my nose, sometimes when you warm up orange scented wax, it kind of becomes off-putting, and that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people like orange and citrus type scents, but just for me, this wasn't a favorite. I don't know if it was a combination between the amaretto and the orange. It was just kind of weird. I wouldn't repurchase this, but I'm happy to have at least tried it, and I really feel that way with most of my wax. Like, even if I don't love it, I'm happy to have at least tried and then learned from that experience. So this one here is Iridescent, and I know that this is a favorite among many here. This is Spearmint and Vanilla Wood. To my nose, and I mentioned this when I did the melting basket, when I pulled this, it's a bit of a masculine, almost peppery type scent. You definitely can pick up on the spearmint, but the wood is like a peppery type wood. I don't know what kind of wood it is. It's not a balsam. It's not like a, I don't think it's like a fir. It's nothing like a Christmas tree, but it's something like it's more sharp to my nose, and I definitely did not love this one. I melted, I had 1 cube missing when I originally started, but I finished the rest, and I melted all of this in my bathroom, and it did help kind of like freshen up and like brighten the bathroom kind of in a nice way, but it wouldn't be something that I would go out of my way to repurchase. This one here is a Butterscotch Maple Cream, and this is from Better Homes and Garden. I did honestly enjoy this one for the reasoning behind I didn't pull a lot of coffee scents this past week. So this, to my nose, I was like, well, it's got maple in it, so maybe it'll smell like I'm making pancakes or something. I don't know. And it kind of worked for that. So I melted this in the mornings, and I'm happy I finished this up. It wouldn't be a repurchase, but for what it was, I would say it was definitely a realistic maple buttercream type scent. It says butterscotch, but it almost smells like my mom makes these chocolate cupcakes with a maple buttercream frosting, and to me, this smells like buttercream frosting, or like the maple buttercream frosting. So I liked it. It kind of reminded me of home, but sometimes maple's a little hit or miss, and some days when I was smelling this going, I liked it, and then sometimes I was like, it's a little off-putting. So I did kind of enjoy it. This is kind of a weird one. It could have went in the risky melting basket, honestly, but I probably won't pick up more, but for what it was good. And this one is another butterscotch type scent. This is Vanilla Bean Butterscotch. So it's kind of funny. This other one is Butterscotch Maple Cream. So the only real difference is maple, the maple note in this, and the vanilla bean note in this. But the butterscotch note is like the same. So kind of interesting how the performance varied for me. This was definitely much stronger. This was definitely a lot weaker, but it was fine. It is interesting because when I smelled these side by side, I was like, okay, I can see that same exact note that was used for both, and the difference between like the maple and the vanilla. So I don't know, I'm kind of talking in my head right now. But I wouldn't repurchase this one either. None of these Walmart ones really are like wowing me that I felt like I needed to run out and get more, but it was good. I'm happy to have used it. And then on to some Walmart wax that I used but did not finish. So this one here, actually, let's start with, this is Smoked Caramel Fireside, and this is from Better Homes and Garden as well. I used 3 cubes of this one throughout my open concept, like my living room warmer, and I really did like this one. This one to me was probably the standout of all of the Walmart wax. It smells like, it's very strange. I don't know. There's something, so it's Smoked Caramel Fireside. I can definitely pick up on like the smoky fireside note. I do get a bit of the caramely note, but there's something else in this. This almost like a clean sweetness. I don't know what is giving me that, but almost smells like it could be like you have like a blanket that's pulled out of the dryer that's kind of fresh and clean. And then there's like a richness from the caramel and like a smokiness. I really did think that this one, for being a Walmart scent, it had a lot of complex notes kind of playing together that worked really well together. So I would say if I was going to Walmart and I have already finished this and I saw this, I probably would pick this one up again because I did enjoy it, especially for this time of year when it's cold out and you want something kind of warm and comforting. This is a good scent for that. If you guys have tried this, I'm curious what your thoughts are as well. So this one I would say is the standout from the Walmart wax. And I have brown sugar frosting. So this one I melted 2 cubes in my guest bedroom last night actually, or yesterday. I'm mixing up my days because of the wedding. Friday night. And this one was very interesting. It smelled to me like you ripped open a bag of brown sugar and stuck your nose in it. That's kind of what this smelled like to me. A frosting note, I wasn't really like pulling out like distinctly frosting more than I was just like a brown sugar type of scent. But I really did like this one. This was also a surprising one. I don't know if I would run out of my way and get this one or get backups or anything like that, like I mentioned, but it was good on cold, very, very sweet, very, very sweet, like makes your teeth hurt kind of sweet. And then once it warmed up, it kind of toned down like the craziness, but became this really beautiful, just butter, like not butter, brown sugar sweetness in the air. And I mix my brown sugar, or I mix my oatmeal with brown sugar in the morning a lot of times. So this kind of just smelled like a nice morning scent to me. I don't know. If you guys have tried this one, I'm also curious what your thoughts are. I really did enjoy this. Maybe down the line, once I work my collection down to a smaller amount, and if I see this one, I'll pick it up, but it does say limited edition. And this one also said limited edition. So I'm not sure if these are even available anymore, but these ones were both pretty nice. This one is one that I didn't love. This is caramel bread pudding, and this is also from Better Homes and Garden. I melted 2 cubes of this, and I had my tonsils taken out when I was a little girl. Lexi, fun fact. And I remember eating a lot of pudding, and now to this day, I still do not like pudding of any kind. The smell of pudding or yogurt or anything soft that I was only able to eat like soft foods during that time. So puddings or yogurts or anything like that makes my stomach turn. I can't stand those smells. And I really smelled the pudding smell on warm, and I did not like it. So for that reason, this one wasn't a favorite. But it's okay. They can't all be winners. So that is caramel bread pudding. And then this one is pecan pie bars. And on cold, I definitely can pick up on the cinnamon. But once this one warmed up, it was definitely very strong on that cinnamon note. So I wasn't a huge fan of this one. I'm also not huge on like nutty scents in wax. Not always. Sometimes they surprise me and I can kind of enjoy them. But this one, it was just nutty and cinnamony, and it really just kind of smelled like if you went to a fair or like, you know, Disney and you had like the nuts with the cinnamon rolled in it, kind of like in the stick thing. You know what I'm talking about? That's kind of what this reminded me of. But it's also slightly like a red hot cinnamon. So I definitely didn't love this one, but that is pecan pie bars from Better Homes and Garden. And then finally, this is the last Walmart wax that I want to talk about. And I saved this for last because I have a scent that I wanted to kind of do a side-by-side comparison with before I jump into my Scentsy. This is Nutty Butter Cookie Bars from Sensationals. So I mentioned on cold that this one really kind of reminded me of like the inside part, or even just like of an actual Reese's peanut butter cup. And this on cold, I enjoyed a lot more once I warmed it up. And especially after I melted this one after I melted a certain Scentsy scent. And I feel like the Scentsy one was just so much better and like blew my mind that this one just was kind of almost lackluster to me. So the one that I want to compare this one to is Graham Cracker Crunch. So I fell in love with this scent, and I was really hoping to whittle my Scentsy Club down so I wasn't putting bars that I didn't already have into it. But this one, as soon as I threw it in my warmers, it instantly went to my Scentsy Club because I am obsessed. So graham cracker crunch, I'll leave the notes if I can find them. But this one to me doesn't smell like graham crackers. I've heard differing opinions. Some people think it does smell like graham crackers, but to me, this smells like a peanut butter cookie. It just smells like the most delicious, delectable peanut butter cookie, like a Christmas cookie that my mom makes, like a peanut butter kind. Oh my goodness. This is so good. Possibly one of my favorite Scentsy scents, honestly. And I'm not even that big of a fan of like peanut butter scents and wax, and I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this one. But so these ones on cold have a very similar vibe. These are distant cousins or just cousins. There's a definite chocolate note that isn't apparent in this, and maybe that's what's doing it for me. The chocolate is kind of throwing me off. But when I melted this one, it was a lot lighter of a performer. This one was like middle range type of performance. It was like a 5 out of 10, kind of right in the middle of the road here. And it kind of was, when I melted it, it was like a one note chocolate peanut butter cup, which is fine. I don't think it was anything I would like complain about. It was fine. I'm happy to have it and melt it. But then this one, I felt like every time I would smell it, like come in the room, like walk in and out of the room when I would smell this, it was super strong, like very, very strong. And it was like I would pick up on like the butteriness, and then I'd pick up on the bakery side, and then I would pick up on like the creamy peanut butter note, and then it was like dancing on my nose. It was like a party for my nose, the scent was, and I really, really liked it. So I would say, if you guys have both of these in your collection, I really am curious. I always want to know what you guys think in the comments. If you have these both, please melt these both and let me know if you are getting that same kind of vibe that I got, where this one's just like, yeah, it's basic, but this one was like, whoa, amazing. Very curious. So that's just my opinion. I know a lot of you guys might love this one, and I do think this is really good, and especially if you haven't tried this one. But if you have this, and this one goes away at the end of this month, but if you haven't tried this and you love this, you need to try this graham cracker crunch from Scentsy. It's so good. It's so good. So yeah, that's my opinion on that one. And I guess maybe we'll just keep sticking with Scentsy. I feel like this video is going to be hours long. So this one here is Black Forest Pine. I melted two of these cubes in my bathroom. This to me, I said, kind of reminds me of like the gift stores in the Adirondack Mountains. It's a very deep, dark tree scent with like, there's like a depth and a richness to this one. It's not like bright and fresh. It's like a deep and heavy tree scent, and I love it. This one is in my club and it's staying in my club. I loved it. It was a very good, strong performer. In a bathroom, of course, it's going to be a good, strong performer, but that's probably the only place I'd really melt it unless it was the holiday season. So I know that I like it, and I'm keeping that one in my club. Another one that I have in my club and I'm keeping in my club, this one is Toasted Acorn and Oak from Scentsy. I melted 2 cubes in my bathroom just to get a good idea. This thing was so strong. It was coming out of my bathroom. It was going into my open concept, and I love this scent. It's so good. This is honestly up there with the graham cracker crunch for me. It's really, really yummy. I don't know. I just watched Ashley's video, and she said that something about like this kind of smells like it had like a bakery note to it. I don't know about that. Maybe there is like a sweetness in this. So maybe you're right, Ashley. I don't really know. On cold, to me, it was just like a very sweet, rich tree type scent with like an earthiness from the acorn. I freaking love this. Toasted Acorn and Oak. I love this. So good. This one is Polar Bear Hug. And this one is scent notes, blackberry jam, caramelized brown sugar, vanilla, amber. And I said that this was strong for 12 hours, but it reminded me of Vicks Vapor Rub. So it does. This entire clam, I mean, besides these 2 cubes that I melted, this is going to go to my mom. I think she's going to like this one. Mom, if you're watching, I'm going to send this to you. There are a lot of these that I'm actually going to give to like my mom and my sister, just because I wasn't like blown away and like wanted to keep them. Also, things that I want to have my mom and my sister try. I'm definitely going to give my mom and my sister some of that graham cracker crunch to try. And if they like it, I'm going to up the amount in my Scentsy club because I'm obsessed and I want them to try that one. But anyway, yeah, Polar Bear Hug wasn't my favorite. Kind of smelled like Vicks Vapor Rub to me. I didn't get any of the notes that were listed. It didn't make any sense. I know a lot of people love this one. just a different nose, different opinion, and that's totally fine. I think that's so fine. It just wasn't for me. So that was Polar Bear Hug. This one, actually, let's talk about the Disney scents that are from Scentsy. So I melted through 3 of the Disney-inspired scents, 2 of the ones from the Villains collection. I melted through Poor Unfortunate Souls, which is the Ursula scent, and I also melted some of the Mistress of Evil from Maleficent. So I melted 2 cubes of this one and 4 cubes of this one. And this one, to me, it's like a deep, rich berry plum type of scent. But there's a bit of like an added perfumey quality to this scent that I just wasn't loving once I warmed it up. This one originally was in my club. I ended up taking this one out of my club. So that's fine. It just wasn't anything that blew me away, and I just didn't love it. On the other hand, this one I didn't have in my club. I think originally I liked this one on cold more than this one on cold. And I'm kind of kicking myself for taking this one out of my club because now you can't put it in your club. But I did really, really like this one, Ursula Poor Unfortunate Souls. There's like a fresh, I mean, it's definitely like a berry. I think it's goji berry in this. And there are some vendor wax goji berry scents that I really do love. And to me, it's like this beautiful, juicy berry scent. But there's also something like a sweet, it's not watery or fresh, but something just smells like clean about this. Something smells like, I don't know, like a clean berry scent, which I really like. So this one I would say, I don't know if any of these Disney scents ever come back. If you guys are familiar and you know if any of these have ever like disappeared and then reappeared, I'd be curious to know because I did really like this one. I didn't have time to stick in my club. I have enough left and I have enough wax that I'm not really too worried about it, but it was really good. So that is Poor Unfortunate Souls. And then finally, this one here is 100 Acre Wood, and this is jasmine and cotton, I think. So a lot of people commented on my melting basket video that this one was a really light performer. And I did notice it was light, but I have such a small bedroom, you guys. My bedroom is like, you could spit and like you'd hit the other wall kind of a thing. Like my bedroom, I live in like a bungalow style house and it's not very big at all. It's very small, very quaint, which I'm very happy with. But my bedroom's so small. So it's like I put 2 of these in my Scentsy or my Yankee Candle centerpiece warmer. And I could smell, and every time I would go into my bedroom, I was like, oh, I really, really like this. It was just like a very beautiful, sweet, florally freshness type of like laundry scent. It was a little bit lighter, but because it was a laundry scent and I'm kind of weird about laundry scents, sometimes they kind of bother my nose, I didn't mind it. It was actually fine, and I actually kind of preferred that it was a little bit lighter. So I know that this one is still going to be available, so I'm kind of wondering if I should keep it in my club. I know it's still around. But I sometimes I'm like unaware when they do pull certain things like this out of like their catalog or whatever. So I don't know. This one I'm still kind of up in the air about, but I really did like it. Is it something that I need? Probably not. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, I did. Was it like, yeah, but it's okay. I don't know, you guys. I'm torn. Maybe I'll get a few more bars and just not put it in my club, but I get my club quarterly, so I really don't get it too much. So if my club's a little bit bigger, I'm not super worried, I guess. And my club also comes after the low buy's over. So I don't know. Anyway, that's that one. Some things that are in my club that I melted and got a better idea of whether or not they should stay or not. This one is Strawberry Swirl. Charity said in her video that this kind of almost gives her like a cotton candy vibe on warm. And I got that. I got that cotton candy vibe. Like I totally smelled it. This is like a strawberry milkshake scent. Oh, you guys, once this was warmed up, I loved it even more. So there are only 4 cubes left of this, and I'm going to gift this to my mom and sister. I have a couple backup bars of this because it is in my club. I'm not taking it out of my club. I really did like it even more once it warmed up, and I really want my mom and sister to experience this scent, so this is another one that is going to go to them. This one here I completely finished up. This is in Summer Soleil. This is also in my Scentsy club. I really like this one. I really, really like this one. It is a little bit on the lighter side. It's like kind of a middle of the road scent for me. I used 4 cubes, so 2 cubes in one hot plate warmer, 2 cubes in a Scentsy warmer in my kitchen one day, and then another day did the same exact thing. And both times I used this, it kind of reminded me slightly, like very, very slightly of skinny dipping, and I have a ton of skinny dipping because that one's also in my club. And I have a big brick of skinny dipping. That's one of my first Scentsy scents that I ever melted, so I have a connection to that one. But this kind of gave me like a similar melon note as that one did. So I'm curious if I should keep this one or just kind of stay with my skinny dipping scents. But I did really like this one. It's like a very sweet, I don't know if there's floral in it. Kind of smells like it could be. But I really, really like it with like a nice melony kind of base to this. So I did enjoy it. And then finally, this one was like turning. This clamshell is like yellow. So I needed to melt this one. This is Sweet Plum Pastry. I have had this one in my club for probably the longest time. This is the first thing that ever went to my scent. This is the reason I got the Scentsy Club. And I love it. It's not gonna come out of my Scentsy Club. It is a really beautiful, juicy plum scent with a ton of sweetness. It's not like a, sometimes I feel like plum scents can be a little perfumey in vendor wax especially, but this one is just like a juicy, rich, delicious plum, and I love this one, so keeping it in my club, I love it. This is one that a lot of people love. This is Apple Cherry Strudel. I've heard that there is a weird performance issue with this one where it's like you melt it, it's strong for the first few hours and then it's gone. It smells good in the clamshell. I threw this in the warmers, 2 cubes in a hot plate warmer, 2 cubes in a ball warmer in my living room, and I smelled it for like 10 minutes maybe, and then it was gone. So this is definitely not staying. It's kind of sad because I think that there is a good scent appeal for this, but the performance wasn't there. So Apple Cherry Strudel is not staying in my club or going in my club. And then I have a ton of scents that are kind of, I don't know, just random. Some of these were in my club, some weren't. This one wasn't in my club. I'm not going to keep it in my club. It's Salted Caramel Toffee. It's just like an overly sweet caramel scent. I feel like this is something I could definitely get in vendor wax form, and this wasn't a standout for me. So that's not staying. This is Butter Pecan. This is also something that I just wasn't like super impressed by. It does smell like butter pecan. I'm going to try to melt some of this with my Rose Girls ice cream mini melters to see if it'll smell like butter pecan ice cream. But this wasn't anything that I feel like I would need more of, so that's Butter Pecan. This one's Cedar Cider. I really kind of thought I would love this one more once it warmed up. I had this going in my bathroom. I melted 2 cubes, and it just kind of, it smells like a cedar chest to me. I do really like it. My mom has a bar of this that my dad really didn't like when she was melting it, so she's going to give me this bar, so I definitely don't feel like I will need to put this in my Scentsy Club. But I know a lot of people do like this one, so that's Cedar Cider. This one, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so this one is Cashmere and Corduroy. I thought I picked up Cozy Cardigan. Cozy Cardigan I love. This one is very similar to Cozy Cardigan. So I've heard a lot of people say they're kind of like sibling scents, and they are. I really do like this one. This is something that I am debating putting in my club, but I feel like if I have Cozy Cardigan, I might not need this one. For now, this is going to be my club. I might just kind of let it stay there until like maybe I'll get 2 more like whatever club shipments. And then if I feel like, 1, if it comes back, then I'll take it out. And then 2, if I feel like I'm kind of like, okay, I don't need any more, then I'll take it out. But for now, I think I'm going to keep it in my club. This is pretty, like, honestly good. And I had this in my bedroom, and it does smell like corduroy. I don't know how Scentsy does it. The fleece smells, like fuzzy fleece or whatever that one's called, smells like fleece to me. The corduroy one smells like corduroy to me. And I don't know if it's just like the name is making me think that, but it works. Anyway, so then I have Almond Croissant, and I ended up blending this one with Dancing Sugar Plums. This was a combination that Beth told me maybe to try out, or like she said, try out this one with a bakery scent. So I use these 2 together. So these 2 I'm probably going to be gifting to my mom and my sister. I just don't love them. On cold, they are not for me. And then once warmed up, they're still not for me. Together, these did a lot better. But yes, I'm going to pass these on. This one here is Winterberry Apple Tea, and I know that there are so many people that love this scent, and I wanted to love this scent too because so many of my wonderful friends here love this. I just don't. I don't know why. I will say this, on warm, I enjoyed this a lot more than I do on cold. Like when I smelled the bar, I'm like, ugh. Kind of just like, it's too tea-y. I don't know. It really smells like it could be like a tea. Like an overly spiced kind of scent. And once I melted this, the spice really did tone down a lot, but it still wasn't enough for me to want to keep this or to be overly wowed by this. So winterberry apple tea isn't for me. But if you love it, I'm so happy that you have a scent that you love. It's just not for me. And then moving on, I have a few more. A lot of these are like fall inspired scents. So maple apple bourbon, I melted 2 cubes of this. I really do like this one. I think it smells delicious, but I'm not going to keep this in my club. I'm going to take it out of my club. It's just kind of like a nice fall type scent, but I think that there will be more fall releases that I will probably prefer over that. And then kind of in the same vein, I guess, I melted through 3 of these. I had a pumpkin day, you guys. I melted all pumpkin scents. I had 4 cubes of this going in my living room warmers. This is pumpkin roll. Then in my dining room warmers, I had 4 cubes going of pumpkin cinnamon swirl. And then in my bedroom and office, I had 4 cubes going of Scary Good. So on cold, out of these 3 pumpkin type scents, I prefer Scary Good. Scary Good is currently in my Scentsy club, and these 2 are not. I think out of all of these, this is the one that will stay in my Scentsy club. I don't know. I'll list the scent notes for these if I can. Scary Good is just, it feels like there's a little bit more going on in this one that I just think is a little bit more interesting for my nose. Also, I think the packaging is a little cuter, which isn't that big of a deal, but for me, sometimes I like that kind of a thing. And then these 2, so pumpkin roll and pumpkin cinnamon swirl, these are so similar to my nose. And I feel like I don't need to keep either of these. I think I'm going to put these back in my fall bin, my fall wax bin, and use these next season. But I think you can always kind of count on Scentsy bringing out pumpkin scents, or any wax vendor bringing out pumpkin scents. And neither of these ones really stood out to me enough to have to keep around or want to keep around. I think that these are both really nice. I have no complaints about them. I just feel like I haven't fallen deep enough in love to keep them. And I can only have so big of a Scentsy club like before it starts to overwhelm me and take over my entire home. So pumpkin roll and pumpkin cinnamon swirl. Neither of these are going to go into my Scentsy club. And then finally, one thing that is in my Scentsy club that I'm definitely going to keep in my Scentsy club, this is Bright Cider Life. I used 4 cubes of this in my living room, and this one was honestly up there in strength with Cozy Cardigan, which is a freaking knockout, super strong scent, and Graham Cracker Crunch. I would say Graham Cracker Crunch was probably like it burnt out the fastest, or like the smell dissipated quicker than this one, and then Cozy Cardigan. I don't know why I'm comparing all those. It doesn't make any sense. In my head it does. But anyway, this one is incredible. It is like the most delicious caramel cider scent. It really smells like if you had a hot apple cider and you just like took a huge big old glob of hot caramel and you just plopped it in the cider. It is so delicious. And I love this. I love this one. This was a standout for me. I definitely put this in my scent. I mean, this was already in my Scentsy club. This will never come out of my Scentsy club. I really love the scent. And then finally, I have a couple things, 2 things that I didn't originally have in this melting basket, but I decided to pull. This is Twirling Trapeze from the Bathing Garden. I used up 1.5 of these little, or they're not little, these big old cubes here from this clamshell. I really like the scent. It's like strawberry soda and something else. This is definitely a favorite of mine. But I would say like the throw, it wasn't like crazy strong. This was a nice middle of the road scent, but It could have been stronger, but I had something in my house that was overpowering it. So this one I had my living room warmers, the same way that I always melt my wax in my living room with a hot plate and a bulb. This one I had in my kitchen warmers, same thing, a hot plate and a plug-in wall warmer. I used 2 cubes, and then like you can see the size difference of the cubes that I melted. This was it's called Just Jasmine Frost, and this is, like I said, twirling trapeze. The Just Jasmine Frost was so strong, and I put this in Friday night. Today's Sunday morning, and I had my warmers going most of the time, besides from like the hours of like midnight until 8 a.m. or like 1 o'clock at night till like 9 a.m. kind of a thing. So I don't know why this is so strong. Maybe it's just because it's a floral that it was doing this. And this one was like a strawberry soda scent, but this one, I could barely smell this one, and I think it was just because this was so overwhelmingly strong. I really like this one. Tom said it smelled like, what did he say? Something weird. There was something about this that Tom didn't like. I will say this, for jasmine scents, this definitely isn't like my all-time favorite jasmine scent. It was jasmine-y floral, leaning on the side of like church hand soap or like kind of like grandma perfume, which does like totally fine. It doesn't matter. I still liked it. If I was, rocking a perfume, I'd rock this. Tom didn't love it. Definitely a very bright spring scent to my nose, so I'll probably hold it off and use it in the spring. But that is my thoughts on that. And finally, I finished up a clamshell in a caramel praline latte from Zape. This was phenomenal. I really, really like this one. This was my only coffee scent I had going, and every single time I melted this, Tom was like, I love that. I love coffee scents. This is incredible. Probably this would be Tom's standout from this past week, and I really did enjoy it too. So caramel praline latte was the win. So that's it, you guys. I hope if you are participating with this collab that you are enjoying these melting baskets. Let me know in the comments below if you have put together a risky melting basket for this next upcoming week. I know for me, it was really fun to pull that one. Definitely will be a challenging week, but I think it'll be a blast. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.